style. Street knowledge by the pile. Baby, never act wild. Very low.
Hey guys, it's Bree and welcome to my channel. As you guys can probably tell by the title, this video I'm going to be saying the baby names that I love but won't be using. So yeah, I've seen tons of these since becoming pregnant, obviously, well, and before I was pregnant, but I just think it's really fun to just see like what names and ideas people come up with. I figured I would go ahead and do my own video. So yeah, that's basically it. So I have a little notepad and I wrote down like the kind of more of the top names. So obviously we both shouted out hundreds of names, but I'm only gonna say the ones that were like our top names and the ones that we were both kind of persistent on. And yeah, there's no specific order. I'm just gonna go down the list as they are written down. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up and comment down below like what your favorite names are, if you know you're pregnant or if you are not pregnant but you just have thought about baby names or whatever. So comment all of your favorite baby names down below. Let's get into it. So the first name that I have on this list is Audrey. Now Audrey was my name suggestion for a girl and I just like it. I just think it's such a pretty name. I think it's like really sweet and cute and just perfect for, you know, a little princess. So I really like the name. My boyfriend did not like the name. He just was like, no, I don't like it. I don't know why. I think it's a pretty name, but he wasn't going for it at all. So yeah. The next name is Zane. I thought Zane would be a nice name for a boy and my boyfriend did not like it. I don't know, but I like the name. I think it's a nice little name. And me and my boyfriend have talked about baby names off and on for years, like way before I was even pregnant. And this is a name that I've always liked, and I've brought it up multiple times when we kind of get into talking about it. I brought it up multiple times and I spelled it different ways, and every time he was like, no. So he did not like that name at all. The next name is Logan. I think Logan is a pretty name for a girl. For a first name specifically, I feel like it's like just a strong, pretty name, and I would love to see like a little black baby girl, Logan, and she just has like a strong name. I just think it's really pretty. My boyfriend, I don't think that he didn't like the name, but he said that like he was like, for a girl, what? And I'm like, yeah, for a girl. And he was like, maybe for a boy, and I'm like, no, not a boy, like a girl. So we couldn't agree on like the gender, I guess. He would rather it be on a boy. I think it'd be really pretty for a girl's name. So yeah, we just couldn't agree on that one. The next name is Jean, Jean. Now this was my name and my boyfriend was like, no. I just think it's really pretty, and he feels like people are gonna like mispronounce it, which I could see, but I mean realistically, people are people, right? My name is Brianna. I'm at the top of like the simple and basic names list, and people get my name wrong. So I'm like, if I have to correct people on literally one of the most basic names in America, then like what's even the big deal? So that didn't really bother me, but he didn't really like it. And I tried it multiple times. Like I said, we talked about names off and on for years, and every time that we kind of got into names, I would throw it in there and he always was like, no, not happening. I thought it'd be a pretty middle name for a boy, but yeah, he did not like it. The next name is Zane, Z-H-A-N-E with an accent. I think this name is so beautiful for a little girl. I could just see little baby girl running around with her cute little bougie name, and I like it because I'm pretty sure it's French, and I like that it's like a little bit bougie, but it's not too bougie, because I honestly don't like super like classic bougie names like Margot. Like I hate those kind of names. They're like so stiff to me, but I like that Jeanne to me, like it's a little bit bougie, but it's still kind of different. So I really liked it, but he did not like it. My boyfriend is like, the more like unique kind of names were like they're a little bit tougher for him to get on board with, but I really liked it. I think it's so pretty. But yeah, he didn't like it. He also said that it looks like Zane, and so that was like another reason why he wasn't going for it. And I'm like, babe, you doing the most. But yeah, he did not like that one. Then Christian, my boyfriend said the name Christian for a boy. He mentioned this name multiple times, and I can't, like, I don't see myself calling my son Christian, and I just know so many Christians. It's like a really basic name. I feel like I say not basic, but a lot of names are basic because they're names, and names have been around for hundreds of years. But I just want names that like me growing up, my name is Brianna. Growing up, there was always 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 Briannas in my class, and you know, it's like I don't like that. Like, I would much rather have just a name that's not necessarily unique, but not as common. You know, I don't want them to be one of, 101, you know? So I didn't like it. I just know too many Christians. And then, like, I went to school with a couple of Christians, but there was one in particular, and he was just one of those kids that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. And like, I would hate to have a child named after, not that they're named after that person, but just for that name to bring up any memories or energy that isn't like positive is a no for me. And like I said, on top of that, it's just super common. I know too many Christians. It's just such a basic name. It's a boring name, and I really don't see myself calling my son Christian. The next name my boyfriend said was Carmelo, and he said this name multiple times, and I'm not feeling it. It is more, it's not like super common. Literally the only Carmelo I've ever heard of is, of course, Carmelo Anthony, but I've never heard of anybody else with that name. I'm sure there are people out there, but we don't know anybody personally, so I feel like it's not super common. He wouldn't be like one of 100, like, you know, in his class. But I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't want people to be like, oh, like Carmelo Anthony. Like, I don't like the idea of people doing that. And I don't know, I don't see myself calling my baby Carmelo. Like, I just don't, it wasn't resonating with me. So yeah, I wasn't really too strong on that one. He did mention it a couple times, so I could tell he really liked the name, but I don't know, it just wasn't doing it for me. So not that one. The next name is Chris Jr. My boyfriend's name is Christopher, and he threw out the idea of a junior, and like, I don't like the idea of juniors. Like, I just don't know, like, if you guys are into it, that's cool, but I just kind of feel like that's your name. Like, your parents picked out your name for you, and I want us to pick out, you know, our name for the baby. Like, I don't want it to be like, I just feel like let them have their own name, their own identity, their own personality, and not just be like Junior, 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 Junior. Like, you know what I mean? I'm down for something similar, like my boyfriend's name is Christopher, so like, you know, Christian, if we were to go with that, it's kind of similar. Or we've been throwing out the idea of my boyfriend's middle name for the middle name of one of our sons, but it's like a little bit different. So that I think is really cool, to kind of have a piece of one of the parents, but without being their whole entire name. I just think that's kind of weird. I don't think he's like super on board with the whole junior thing anyway, because when I mentioned one of his names, he was kind of like, what, why would you do that? So I don't think either one of us are really on board with the whole junior thing. So yeah. The next name is Caden. I picked out Caden. I thought it'd be a pretty name for a boy. I just think it's a pretty name. I don't know, I just liked it. I've liked it ever since I've heard of it, and I've mentioned it a few times. I've even spelt it like different ways whenever we kind of get into the baby names. Like, there's so many ways that you could spell it. I tried it so many different ways, and every time my boyfriend was like, no, I don't really like it. And I remember one time he threw out the name Aiden, and I was like, wait a minute, you like the name Aiden, but when I said Caden, you was like, no. I'm like, it's almost the same name, literally one letter difference. But he was just like, no, like, he just swore he didn't like it. I don't know why. I think it's a pretty name. It's a nice name. It's not super common. I mean, I know there are people named Caden. We personally don't have any in our family. I don't know anyone. I've never met anyone, so. But yeah, he wasn't going for it. The next name is Kaylee. I thought Kaylee would be a nice middle name for a girl. I don't think Kaylee is a good first name. I don't think it's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like a first name should be able to like hold its own in a sense. Like, I don't know. I don't want like a weak first name. Like, I feel like it has to be like kind of a good solid name, and then the middle name is like kind of that transition, so it can be a little bit like softer, I guess. I don't know. I thought it'd be a pretty middle name, and he said that it sounded like Haley, so he didn't want to do it, which, I mean, I don't know, I guess. I don't really like the name Haley, but the name isn't Haley, it's Kaylee. But yeah, he didn't like it. I said it a few times. Like I said, these are names that we were both kind of persistent on, and we both said them like multiple times. But he didn't like it, and I said it a few times. He did not like it, and yeah, I had to let that one go. So the last name that I have written down is Zoe. I think Zoe is such a pretty name for a little girl. I just think it's a really pretty name. It's nice. It's not super common. I mean, of course there are people with the name, but for where I live, like, I've only met one Zoe my entire life, and I went to school with her, and that is the only Zoe that I've ever known. So, you know, it's a regular name, a normal name, but to our knowledge, and at least where we live and the people that we know, it's not like super common. But my boyfriend said that it's too close to his sister's name, which is not, well, his sister's nickname is Zoe, like Z-O, and he feels like Zoe is too close to her nickname. But I don't know, I still kind of pressed him on it, because I'm like I don't really hear people call her that much. That doesn't mean that they don't, but I just don't hear it that much. And I'm like, but her name isn't Zoe, it's Zoe. But he was like, yeah, but you know, when you go to school, people are gonna call her Zoe for short, and then, like, you know, it'll be weird. So yeah, he was against it because he said it's too close to his sister's name, and we don't really want to use names within the family. I know I don't, unless it's maybe like a middle name, but we kind of are trying not to repeat names in the family. So I can, you know, respect how he feels about that. But I think Zoe is such a pretty name. I love that name. And if it wasn't for like his sister's name, I feel like Zoe could still be in the running. Well, we already have her name picked out, so it wouldn't still be in the running, but like it would have been in the running, or for like a future kid probably. But since it's one of his sister's name, like it wouldn't even be in the running for a future name. But yeah, those are my baby names that I love, or that my boyfriend loves, but we won't be using. Also, these names are not names that we're going to use for future kids. We kind of low-key have our future kids' names picked out already. And we literally talk about those future kids by their names that we've like already predetermined. And none of those names were on this list, just in case anybody was wondering. And yeah, and of course I didn't say baby girl's actual name. I don't know like how we're gonna do it, because at first we weren't gonna really say her name, but that just didn't work out. And Dad already knew. He was like, well, I already know if it's a boy you want to name it X. Not X, but like X is the variable of the actual name. It's like, I know you want to name it X. And I'm like, what? So I guess he like has heard us talking before. He was like, I know if it's a boy you want to name it X. What about if it was a girl? So I told him, and it happened to be a girl, so that's her name. And then my boyfriend told his parents the name. I thought it would be a fun idea to announce her name at our baby shower. I thought it'd be fun to get like a custom puzzle made and have like our parents put the puzzle together, so that way they can kind of be involved and have them put the puzzle together, and then it would obviously spell out the name. And I thought it'd be a fun idea. Everybody could figure out the name together. I just thought it'd be a good idea, and he was on board with it. But he told his parents. My parents already knew. And when people would ask me, like, because we found out the gender really early, at like 11 weeks or something. We found out the gender pretty early. And once we knew, we were calling her by her name, and it was honestly kind of hard. People would, you know, ask me, oh, do you know what you're having? Yes, a girl, have you picked out a name yet? And I'm like, yeah, this. So we were kind of just telling people the name as we go. Now, I haven't said it like on YouTube or on Instagram or anything like that, but we've been telling people like in our actual lives. So it's not like a secret. I just haven't really said it on my platforms yet, so I might announce it on my platform before she's born, or I might just wait until she's born and then say it. I don't know, honestly. But we do have her name picked out. It's been picked out, like I said, before she was even here, pretty much. And it's really pretty. And her name is actually on the baby shower invitations, which is like, when I showed y'all the invitations during Vlogmas, I was like covering her name. So everybody who got invited to the baby shower now knows her name and stuff like that. So it's not really a secret, but yeah. Anyways, I love her name. Her actual name I think is so pretty. Me and my boyfriend, we both love it. Our families and friends have been giving us like really good compliments on her name. Everybody likes her name. So it's nice. That is today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos.